of companies, big names like hit me up recently, like NHS. Like,
I think that's how the industry is, though. Everybody wants to be connected one way or another. I know there's competition and stuff like that, but I still feel like, well, I say that I've come across some people that are jerks, but yeah, I don't.
Well, we're back, guys.
Hey,
Yeah, like
You're still
seriously.
talking.
Yeah, that's the show, Naturally Gnar. Naturally crashing the computer.
Crash
like
hard.
seriously, like I looked over at the computer and saw like blue screen of death.
it flashed. I was like, what's wrong?
Oh, weird. Yeah, it was full danger zone. So, but we're not going to let that stop us. So
Sorry, we talked about everything and we're done.
we just in the call.
we don't know what else to talk about.
Oh, we have plenty, dude. There's never a short of things to talk about, especially like one of the things that I did want. We were talking about cities getting bigger or getting traffic because you were talking about tourism.
Yeah.
Right. So Van Buren, right?
Damn.
Like, you telling me people are there? Skaters were not going to Van Buren.
No.
Now.
I seen a bunch of pros going hit.
Oh
that.
my
Yeah,
gosh.
now pros are going there.
It's like pro visit per capita since they like got it built is like insane.
Totally.
That rail and that 20 set rail, I think
That's going to draw some. They don't understand how many people that's going to draw. When you see that, you're going to be like, where's that at? And then like because it's not very far off the interstate either.
No.
And 40 cuts all the way across, a lot of the United States. So
Yeah.
Man, I think from Centerton, I think it was like 45-minute drive for me.
You were like,
Damn.
yeah, I can go. That's a chill drive,
Yeah.
to go. And it's a great park too.
And then you can go hit up Fort Smith, which is another badass.
Oh
park.
yeah. The Fort Smith Park. Yep.
There won't be as many people there.
That park got used a lot less now than the Van Buren Park.
Yeah.
It's like
Van
spread
Buren
it
Park's
out.
Just got a little bit of everything. That's like a hanging park. It's hard not to hang out there on those steps.
Yeah.
And then just, I'm only going to do the rail today, or this little rail, or I'm going to go do
Like
this
you came
today.
to like skate one thing, like
Yeah,
just set up
you
one
know-
thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the only place that actually even has shelter or like covering for you, like no
That's
other park
hilarious.
does that.
That is hilarious. I didn't even think of that. There's not really covering for any other park,
No.
not that I can think of.
They've
Like-
just got those trees. Bentonville
Yeah.
better have all those trees. They said they're going to keep them.
I think
Well, they
they got
kept
some,
trees, right?
Yeah, they kept some of them, but
Yeah.
they
They're
got in
supposed to
deep
keep a
water
bunch.
over that stuff because it was a housing for bats. Like there was a bunch of natural bats that were living in that area,
Oh, dude.
so they were having to remove them to somewhere else. So everyone's like, "You really got to move these animals out of their natural habitat
So you
for a
can-
little park
Yeah.
so,
Into another natural tree
yeah."
habitat area?
How dare you? I mean, honestly, I was talking with somebody about how like back in the day, the rules and regulations just let people do whatever, and then now there's so much red tape. Like that's one of the reasons why it's so hard to do stuff nowadays, because there's just so much red tape behind doing stuff. And back in the day, probably some things were probably
Dumping byproducts.
not
Back in the
kosher.
day, like,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hazmat.
Oops.
Where'd
Yeah.
you put that at?
Yeah, so I don't know. There's reasons for it, but now skateboarding, it's hard enough to get a skate park built. You add some red tape to it, definitely makes it worse.
Well, I know that's what I said about Fayetteville. Like, they used to always say, well, someone will get hurt. We'll get sued if you skate here, blah, blah. And then they build these mountain bike 20-foot drops that are like neck breakers. And you're like,
That's a fair point.
people getting hurt on this thing every week.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, over there at Bentonville Fire Department, we have a bike trail response team,
Oh, I know.
and they go and ride the trails. To it helps us find
Sure
people
say
that
it.
I've
hurt.
met him.
At that time, we were at Bike Fest, and you were out there. Like,
Yeah.
we were coming back from that kid eating it. I mean, eating it off that huge thing out at Kohler. And you hollered at me. I was like, oh, yeah, you would be out here, wouldn't you?
Well, I've met him firsthand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I broke a rib on the castle, and yeah. Yeah, what I really didn't think, you don't think about it, but like when you're doing all this stuff, if you get hurt like in the middle of the trail, getting out,
Sucks.
it sucks.
It's not
dude.
just like, I'll just take the
Yeah.
side piece.
I was just
here a
like
little.
trying to like take a step, and I like could see how far I had to go, and I was just like, this is gonna suck.
Just get on the
Yeah.
bike and ride it down.
That's what I did. That
Yeah.
is exactly what I did, because I was like, I was with 2 other people, because
Like,
like
I'm not
they
walking.
kept me up, but like I just like it was easier for me to roll down the trail than to like try to take steps.
Yeah.
You know, because like taking the steps after breaking ribs,
Even breathing's gotta hurt.
oh, dude, it's the worst.
Everything.
Dude. It was the worst. I felt really bad. What the
You ruined the ride.
I didn't know. I did
Killed
not.
the vibe, man.
I'm sorry. They kept shredding. They shredded without me. But no, the funny thing was the ambulance, because like I didn't call the ambulance. No, like I think YT did, because I was on a YT group ride,
You're like, no way, I'm walking out of this. sucker."
and I was like, hey, I did decline. I'm not paying for this, and they did not want to let me go.
Now, if you have that serious of an injury,
Yeah.
they're a little bit more like, you should really go.
Yeah, but it was like I just said, I was like, you can't make me.
No, they can't.
You can't.
They
you-
won't.
Yeah, you can't make me. But
They make you sign a little waiver like,
You
all
be
right,
they
we
did.
tried.
They did. Yeah.
Kiss my bro.
Yeah, and they were checking everything. They were like basically wanting to see like, could I cognizance?
Yeah.
Because they were just like, we can't let you go drive a vehicle.
Yeah, if you're knocked out or something.
Yeah. So I felt them on that, and I went through all the little tests or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm mentally fine. This really hurts.
I'd like,
Can you stop talking to me so I can leave?
yeah, so I can
This
go
is
get
worse.
treatment.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I will say this though. I drove. So that happened. I drove back to my house here. So
That's
it was
a long drive,
a long
man.
drive. And then when I got back, it wasn't until I got back that I started getting real dizzy, and I was like, I started like kind of losing myself a little bit.
Lost all your adrenaline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reality kind of
And it kicked in, and like I started thinking, I was like, if I was driving then, like when it all kind of hit
Sucked.
me, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Because I could have
Knocked out or
I could have
something.
wrecked somebody, and that's probably what they're trying to avoid. But yeah, so getting back to some local crew stuff, events. You guys have anything planned
Yeah.
coming up?
Like I said, we got the Freezer Bolts Off, which is going to be at the Springfield Skate Park
What date is that?
on the 21st.
Soon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming
Gotcha.
up.
Yeah.
But it's we're asking people to bring us a brand new unwrapped toy. We're going to donate to the hospital up there.
Yeah.
But that covers your entry to the skate park, your helmet rental, and your the contest itself. So
Gotcha. Okay.
again, we try not to charge at events, but it's usually like if we are charging something, it's more of a
There's a reason.
donation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canned food.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we've done canned food. We've done back to school drive, like school supplies,
Yeah.
and it's usually like $5 worth of canned food or $5 worth of school supplies.
So it's not like a huge, you're not having to invest.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
like, man, you got to pull out the
Just
checkbook for this.
stop
one.
by the store on the way here,
Yeah.
grab a can or
Call it
grab
good.
a toy. Yeah, for sure. So that's it, the Springfield skate park. And then I imagine you're planning local fest for next year.
Right now, I'm kind of, me and Jeremy are just kind of hanging out right now.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of planning that goes into it.
Sure,
It's just
yeah.
like, towards the end of local fest, you're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this no more.
At the end of the run.
Yeah, so-
I used to tour, and the first few shows you're stoked,
yeah.
but then like as you go,
Gets-
each show gets a little less. I don't know. It doesn't get as much of the juice.
And it's the
You know?
distance, the driving, like, oh, we got to go to Texas. Oh, that's 6 hours.
Right. It's almost like you guys need to plan it to where it's like the most distant ones are first.
Yeah,
And then,
probably.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
it normally is based on my work schedule. So I work
right.
a 48-hour shift,
Yeah.
and then I'm off for 4 days. So kind of
Oh, I see.
it has to land on one of those days. And
Gotcha.
obviously, it has to work hard on Jeremy's end
Yeah.
with Death Row, make sure those days lined up. So that's the biggest headache. We've actually gotten crazy blessed with sponsorships lately. Like
That's great.
a bunch of skate brands are like, yeah, man, we're down for what you're doing.
Well,
We're into it.
and I mean, like for me, like, and I guess I'm kind of just speaking as like a person in the scene that you represent of Northwest Arkansas. Like, dude, I hope that the local crew starts making money to a point where it's paying for all of the gas, all of the stays, all of the everything, because that's really what you need it to pay for.
Yeah, but and I'm gonna be honest with you, local crew probably has 4 to 5 years before I call it quits. Like,
Sure, yeah.
There's got to be an end.
There's got to be an end point.
Yeah.
No, dude. Honestly, props for calling one out.
Yeah,
like it's not an easy thing to do.
I mean, it's gonna break my heart to drop it. I hope that somebody's like, "Hey, man, well, we want to continue what you started." But
Sure, yeah.
it's got to be the right person. I can't let what we created go
to nobody.
Just
anybody. Yeah,
running into the ground.
Sure.
We'd rather be done with a bang than let it go to crap. You know.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like I said, for real, kudos to like even just acknowledge that, because like it, even when shops die, and not saying that you're just like a shop, but when shops die, it's like the last second.
Yeah.
They find out the day before. They're like, "Hey, I think we're closing tomorrow."
Yeah, completely.
We ain't got the rent money.
Yeah, I think we can't open the doors tomorrow.
They literally announce like a week out. Hey, we're going to be our last days in a week or something. You're like,
usually,
what?
yeah.
Come buy everything before we close it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I mean, and again, I won't name names. It's not a shop in this area. It's in another state. But like, I have this. I'm talking to a shop that's closing down, and they found out today. I mean, literally, I didn't even mean to tell that story I just told.
Yeah.
That's actually what happened to this shop in Texas, and they don't know what to do with all the stuff, because it's like when you're a skate shop, you're buying stuff constantly.
Yeah,
you're like grip, shoes, shoelaces, bearings, bearing spacers, hardware, riser pads,
all kinds of little stuff too.
Then you got hangers for all the clothes, and there's just all this stuff that accumulates. When the shop closes, that stuff just doesn't disappear.
Yeah,
it's still burdened by the person, the owner, or whoever's taking on that responsibility. And so it's just not something that you can just like flip a switch and turn off.
Yeah.
So like if you at least like are looking at exit strategies, but it's not tomorrow, you know what I mean? It's like, hey dude, we still got some time to rock this, and there's still some hope, you know? But again, it's just like, sometimes it does help to acknowledge it.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm getting older. I'll be like, by that time, be 40, 41. I want to be able to spend a little bit more time with my kids and all that before they leave the nest.
And you're putting a lot of your extra time into this, I imagine. Yeah,
absolutely. My kids hate going to the skate shop because it's like,
it's a bummer.
Hey man, hey guys, I'm sorry, you gotta.
I gotta pull you to the skate shop.
Yeah, so now it's just like I don't want to be here. Dad's like, I know, but
this is what we're doing.
I got to do it.
This is what we're doing. Yeah.
Sometimes they're like, oh, I love it, especially when people actually go to the shop and get stuff. They get hyped on that. They're like, cool.
Other people.
But if they get bored,
yeah,
it's over.
And that's if you go to the skate shop and you see Bluey on or one of these Disney cartoons, it's because they're watching it.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
I got to keep them entertained too. But
no, and that's a testament to how difficult it is. You can't. People think that it's something that can just be done by anybody, and it's just so easy. But they forget about the selflessness that comes with it.
And there's a lot of discouragement that comes with it at times. The shop part of it, anyways. Because
dude,
you're like, dude, I bought this stuff. Like, people have been asking me to get this stuff, and like nobody comes and gets it.
Yeah,
you go a couple days with nobody stepping in the shop, and you're like, why am I doing this? I'm wasting my time. Like, this sucks, And
that's not uncommon.
That's normal. That's normal for skate shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's crazy now. Why is that crazy now? Or why I say, why is it crazy now? Why is that a normal thing now?
I think it's always been that way.
Man,
I used to work at the skate station. There'd be days I'd be in there, no one would come in, or it'd just be one kid skating. Yeah. And then another day would just be smashed, full, packed.
Sure.
So and I don't know if that's, I don't know how you do your bills like that. How you.
It's hard to manage that aspect of it. But yeah, we're lucky of our location, and people are like, "How are you in this old hospital?" It's like, we're just that sick, man.
We're that sick. There you go.
But,
I like it.
No,
but it's what we were talking about earlier is the grace that you got for that nonprofit. Like if it wasn't for that, I could probably even tell you now, and probably know this, you wouldn't have the showroom.
You ain't finding nothing like that.
Yeah. If you didn't have that, it just wouldn't exist.
No, I wouldn't have started up a shop. Like everyone was always like, when you gotta open a shop, it's like, man, you don't know how much money goes into this, and how nobody really supports the shops like
what you would expect. Yeah.
I always think, man, I'd love to run to those shops. You see them in the big city. They're in some old cool building, and you're like, oh, it's sick. And you
looks like an old train station or something.
Yeah,
like something rad
weird like that.
Yeah.
But then you realize, oh man, their roof leaks. They're kind of miserable, and like they're talking about closing down every couple years, and like, yeah, they're barely making it. And
man,
it'd be the same thing here if you tried to open a fat spot with a shop and a park and.
Yeah, if you try to like open like a full storefront, single standalone thing, like you're gonna struggle.
I mean, like
if you don't have something else that's actually helping pay.
Bordertown struggled the whole time.
Well, I mean nowadays,
sick ass park inside, but
nowadays just the cost of everything around here in Northwest Arkansas just shot up. It's like there's no way you can make it.
It's impossible.
Yeah,
like if you took
realty is a premium right now, like any kind of building, even rent, you like see it sitting there, no one's been in it for a year, and you go talk to them and they're like not coming off the price, and you're like, what?
Yeah,
I don't understand. Don't you want something to improve the quality of life and family? Another business would be cool, but nah, we'll sit on it until we get our money for it.
No, I think like for a skate shop around here, like a standalone, you definitely have to have like either BMXing involved with it or bike or something for it to like function.
We've talked about that. It's got to have dual purposes, quadruple purposes.
Coffee shop or something. You know?
Yeah, no, I see. There's actually a lot of examples of it. There's tattoo shops and skate shops. There's coffee shops, skate shops, bike shops, skate shops. Very popular one, skate park, skate shops. But, you just brought up Bordertown, and we've talked about this before about, like, people just taking advantage of the fact that it's a park, and they're not actually supporting the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to buy your shoes, your boards, all your crap there. If that's your skate spot, man, you should be.
You better.
Do you guys ever hear of the indoor park in Norman, Oklahoma? What was it called? Daily Shred.
Oh, yeah.
It only lasted about a year, and I mean, it was a great facility.
It was an amazing facility. They put like real money into that.
And they were consistently upgrading
a lot of places
it.
like that. There used to be another one in downtown Oklahoma City, but they had the B-Bowl. I don't remember what the name of that place was, but they had a lot of ramps, a lot of flow, and then the bowl in the back. It was in some old brick building, but it's not there. It just, stuff comes and goes because it's so hard to keep that overhead coming in.
Yeah.
Well, and so, but that's what I was saying is like, you're talking about basically when you do skate park, skate shop, to a skater, you're kind of thinking, oh, cool, I have two streams of revenue. I have the skate shop and the skate park, but it's still just the same because you're still servicing skateboarders. Yeah, and that's your market. Like that's the market that's paying the bills. The fact of the matter is, skateboarders don't have a lot of money. Nope. It's just the truth. Like, we come from it's a poor demographic, and granted, it's one of the cooler demographics. But
if you're gonna be poor, you might as well be.
Might as well be a skater. Yeah. I don't know where that was in the rule book, but it's there. But you can't pay. You can't pay to have a brick and mortar in a respectable part of town. No way. It just it isn't going to happen, and I don't know when the skate community at large is going to recognize that. When is it going to like sink in to the everyday skater that, hey, just so you know, your lack of support for the shops is why we can't have a shop.
Yeah, like that's why I'm in this whole hospital building. Is
because you have to have to be there. I mean, it's great. You're grateful, I'm sure, that you have it, but you have to be there. Yeah, and you can't have another location for it. And so other places, they'll do that thing. They'll have a coffee shop and a skate shop because they know the coffee shop's pretty much paying the bills. Yeah,
but then you get into another shop. Like, I need to have license and I need to do a food license or whatever.
Yeah. And the health department's got to come by all the time. Yeah.
And that skaters are not clean.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Then you're getting into like, I got to hire somebody.
Yeah. I gotta have payroll.
But all that stuff. And then you zoom back out and you're like, well, wait a minute. Really, the coffee shop is what's paying the bills. And you're like, wait a minute. should we just be a coffee shop?
Yeah.
Like, that sucks.
I think that's kind of how like ski has started. That obviously they were like a book, Christian Bible book, and
That's
a
right.
coffee shop, and the owner Bill had just Christian skateboards on the wall like he liked. Someone was like, "How much for those boards?" So he's like, "Oh, maybe I should start carrying some skateboards up in here."
Right.
And that's how it self-destruct. If I remember correctly, started.
Okay, that's a cool story.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But yeah, I mean, it's like one of the worst parts about that is that the core skateboarder, they would see coffee shop, skate shop. Oh man, that's kind of kooky.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, man, where do you win? Where do I win
Yeah,
here? Like,
no, it's like you said, and that's that same thing I've talked about. Like Scott would carry it at his shop. Everybody wants girls, so he'd buy all the girl stuff, and they'd come in and be like, "Hey, I don't want girl, I want this," and then he'd order that, and they'd come in and be like, "I want." They just wanted what he didn't have.
Yeah.
Dude, but the most egregious one that happened at Syndicate that I remember.
Oh man, I forgot about Syndicate.
Yeah, was Crew.
Yeah. Crew was popping back in
Crew was
With the
hot. Crew with the K. Yeah, and Supra. Supra. Yep.
I hated those shoes.
Dude, everybody did.
They were terrible.
They were
Everybody
horrible
did.
skate shoes.
They were not a skateboarder's shoe.
Those in the Vox. Vox, we all skated the crap out of them, but those were not good bottom shoes, man.
No, they had a rough, but you know,
It hurt some feet.
they looked good though. They had a good look to
What
them.
was the other one? Elwood and
Well, all those brands came because Scott was repping those brands, and it was like he was able to bring those brands into the shop, and it was just he was helping those brands out. So like, had Vox would not be as popular in the Midwest had it not been for Syndicate.
That's
because, right. I mean, he was literally like helping springboard that brand. But Crew, it's like everybody wanted it, but then when he got it, it was like, are you guys said you wanted it? I bought all of it.
Yeah.
I got a lot of it because you were raving
I got
about
all
it.
of it, and you guys are not buying it, you know? And I mean, I even remember like buying Crew stuff kind of like out of sympathy because I was like, man, he bought all this stuff. We better get something, you know? And then like I ended up like liking 2 of the shirts that I got, so I wore them for a lot.
Are they still a thing?
Crew?
I don't think I ever had any of that. I had Elwood.
You
stuff.
would rock Elwood, yeah. But no, Crew, I don't think they're around anymore. I think Supra is still around.
I still have 3 different Elwood shirts at the house. I know I do.
Well, Elwood
was
got
rad.
out of skateboarding and kept going. Like they kept
Just a brand.
Yeah.
Scott gave me like a pocket tee with a little guy bombing a hill on it, and then he gave me this other thing. And I don't know why. I don't remember why he gave it to me, but I was like, wow. And I still have it.
Mm-hmm.
I lost it one time. I left it over here. It's like a long sleeve shirt, and on the inside, it's like a Dan Drehold Elwood shirt. On the inside, there's a full like Mark Gonzalez drawing.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll never get rid of this.
You're right.
I actually have a piece of artwork not artwork, but Mark Gonzalez designed last year's skate shop day graphic.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
what you're talking about.
And that was like my 1 year as a skate shop. So I
nice.
was able
You
to get
got
my
one?
hands on one.
Cool.
I was
That's
like,
good.
dope.
That's good.
I know which ones you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. So you gonna take a little slide back on events this next year?
No, I think we'll probably stick with 6. That was like our
Okay.
good cushion.
Gotcha.
First couple of years, we did like 10.
But you're chilling in the
remember.
winter, though,
Yeah.
right? You're
Yeah,
chilling.
just because it's
Playing
gets
right now.
horrible cold. But
Yeah. Well, I don't think anybody knocks that.
It's like you could do more if
Yeah.
there's more indoor places. Huh?
yeah, there you go.
But that's the thing is like having an indoor place, like, dude, like that's what you're saying earlier is like, yeah, it's okay to skate outside most of the time. So like
You don't
the
need
rest
it
of
all
that
the
time, you don't need it.
Yeah.
And that's where Border Town, like, you could see it, man. Some days it was hammered. There'd be like 40 people in there, dude, just skating hard.
Yeah.
And the shops popping and everything. And then other days,
You
zero.
come in there and it's zilch. And you're like,
Zero.
You're kind of hoping
Go-
for rainy days. That way people
Yeah,
want to go.
yeah.
to
You were like
Exactly,
hoping for.
like-
That's funny you said that because like I could think of times that I was like hoping for it to
oh yeah,
to be cold or chilly or something. It's like we're gonna have like a homie day at
Yeah.
border town, you know. So that was fun.
I remember I'd work at the skate station on Friday nights or Saturday nights and be like, man, I hope crew comes down from Little Rock or someone comes from
That's
Joplin.
true. Yeah.
Because I'd be working, but then, damn, if they showed up, it'd be like,
It was a party.
close the front door.
Lock the doors. We're skating.
Yeah, we're skating, by God.
Man, that's a symptom of skate parks for sure, is that how bad you want some people to come and like skate with, but then you're like ready to lock the doors. And
Yeah,
like,
so you
we're
can
not getting
skate.
no business because we're skating.
I'm skating
Yeah.
I did that a few times.
The skate industry is so weird because it's like it's one that's completely driven out of passion.
Oh yeah.
You know,
If you don't have love for it, you're not gonna make
You're
it.
not
You
gonna
guys
do
keep
it.
talking about her,
Yeah.
and it just reminds me of that Suicidal Tendency song, "Possessed to Skate."
yeah.
Yeah.
You're possessed to skate. You
Yeah.
are. You've become possessed. By it.
And
Nothing you
it
do.
locks your life. You
Yeah.
know? Like it literally like, and not in a bad way.
No,
Well, even
not
if
at all.
you
Not at all,
stop
you
and
know?
you don't really get to do it, the rest of your life, you're gonna look at as you drive down the road. You're gonna look out differently. You're going to. Everything's just going to be. It just kind of gets ingrained, even
Just
if you
the way
don't get to
that-
do it later.
Yeah.
Like the way it teaches us to try to be consistent. Like, oh, I landed that kickflip, but my toe touched. I want to do it better. Or
Some discipline.
yeah, there's a lot
Yeah.
of discipline that
Yeah.
goes
And
with
failure, and then success. Failure, success. You
And
got to
the-
fail
Yeah.
20 times before you have that one success.
Yeah,
True.
And that's
getting off the
crazy.
ground. Like, oh man, that hurt, but I'm getting up. I'm gonna try again.
Yeah, falling
Try,
down
try.
and getting up, falling
Yeah.
down and getting up.
Yeah.
You learn to pick yourself up.
And, you know, the dumb old saying, practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
If you skate 4 times a week, you're probably going to get good.
Oh
But
yeah.
if you skate once a month, sucks.
Yeah, that's
It
how I
sucks.
feel, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
I
It
go out and
sucks.
I'm just like, man, I remember doing cool tricks, and I can think about them, but I can't execute them.
No, it's not in
tough.
practice long enough.
It's tough.
So I'm saying, like, if I skated 4 times a week, I'd be like, 1, I'd be ripping, but 2, I'd be hurting.
Yeah, even
I'd be
if,
sore.
even if you don't fall, man, your joints
it's-
are like,
I know,
you
it's
messed
the
up
impact,
here,
man.
man.
It's the impact.
Yeah.
Just only so much you can take. That's the only thing that sucks. It's like I can still you can still do tricks and stuff, but man, if you gotta fall. Same way on the mountain bike. When I ride that, I'm like, I'm on a razor's edge. Like, I can ride this thing, but as soon as I start taking chances, if I get pitched, it's not going to be good. It's
Right.
not going to be good.
Well, yeah. The older you get, the more risk avert you
Oh, yeah.
become.
Like I go to the park and I do like my routine tricks.
That's right.
Like,
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna land.
I'm gonna
these,
land these. Yeah.
and once I land them, I'm happy.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
leaving.
safe.
That's kind of,
Yeah.
I'll go somewhere and like, man, if I can get this and this, I'll back off. That way I don't get hurt. I don't
That's
try
right.
to push it too much.
That's right.
Because I would love to be able to skate 4 hours a day, you know, but I don't know if it's possible. I think if I start getting to hour 3, hour 4, I'm going to get hurt
Oh yeah.
because I'm going to be
Trying.
trashed.
You're gonna be
Yeah.
trying some things that you
Too trash
probably
to do.
well too trash, but your energy level is too low
shot.
for the harder thing that you want to try mentally. You
It's gonna
know.
take more of your body and more of your mentality to do it too.
Yeah, and then that's where you're gonna probably fall into some times where you can get hurt.
Yeah.
Most of the time when you get hurt too, it's like you're actually getting hurt on the stupid stuff.
Dude, I
mean,
feel that way.
I always get hurt. I mean,
Last 2 times I hurt my knee, that's exactly what it was like on some BS, man.
yeah,
I wasn't even on any tricks.
you're just
and
kind of like
nothing.
farting around, and you're like,
Just
"Dirt,
warming
dirt,
up."
dirt," you
Yeah.
know.
Man, I've been looking at like trying to practice is kind of do slappy grinds because I'm like,
Yeah,
man,
totally.
that looks like it's
That's our life.
Low to the
brother.
ground.
I could still try
Low
to do
the
some
ground.
grinds.
Yeah, low to the ground. And you see actually all the old skaters like do like the things like the Willie Santos will do like those
Oh my gosh, curb master.
those like curb, yeah. And
He can get into like 4 different tricks all in one big long
yeah.
slide grind thing.
Yeah.
You know who else is sick with the curbs is Ronnie Krager.
Oh my gosh.
Dude.
Like he probably grew up skating those Venice Beach curbs that go all the way down.
And dude, he just like rolls. It's like it's like the most gentle thing to get onto the curbs and just
Yeah.
like locks right in. And other people are just like
smashing
them.
power through. Like, damn, that looked rough.
It does. And
And that's the only way I feel like I can do them.
Me
Because
too,
like I have
smash
to
it.
smash into it, and if I'm the other part is I can only either get a 5 or 50. I can't really like do anything else.
Do you have
and
big
then front
wheels?
side? No. Well, yeah. Actually, mine are kind of.
What
They're
size
like
you got?
mid
Do you know?
56.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're not small.
They're not small, but they're not big.
I ride
Yeah.
54s, and
Yeah.
I thought about like I wonder if a bigger wheel
I
will
th-
help me out.
Oh, I think they do.
It can.
I think they
And
do.
certain wheel shapes can help a little bit better too. Same
I've
thing
heard
on
that.
ramp and stuff. That's what all the different wheel shapes are for. Is for
Yeah.
whether
Isn't-
you're skating street or vert or
Isn't one of Andy Anderson's boards like specifically designed to help you get into slappies better, or is that the wheel? Or is
Now
that
there's some trucks.
That's what it
Slappies.
is. Well, yeah. There's that. Yeah, you're totally right.
I thought about getting a set of those just to try them.
Oh, no, I've heard good things.
is it just the kingpin that's out of the way?
No, it's the angle.
Angle, or like it's something like the way that like when it encounters the curb, it promotes like the lift or something,
Engineering stuff. I
Yeah,
don't know.
engineering. Yeah. High
Minute,
engineering.
Yeah,
Yeah.
minute engineering.
Well, it's really probably just like in the truck design, they're
Yeah.
like, hey, can we try it? Like move this back,
A centimeter.
half an inch or something, or,
Wow.
and it like changes everything,
Yeah.
But I mean, that's really skateboarding. Honestly, like if you think about the innovations in skateboarding, it was really just skaters trying something different. And just like, let's try it. See if we do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw it against the wall, see if it sticks.
But man, for me, it's sometimes like I feel like you're overcomplicating. It's almost like, well, I'm looking for a wheelbase that's 14 and a half instead of 14 and a quarter. It's like,
Does that happen in the shop to you?
yeah.
Okay.
It's like, man, I don't know what the wheelbase is. I never measured it.
Man, I
on
always
this.
think though, if you're that hardcore like that,
You know what you're getting.
you better be a bad mofo when you step on that board.
Well, true.
Because
Yeah.
you're looking for a half an inch here and there. It's not going to improve your kickflip. It's not, at least people that you would think. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. Some pros, like, let me try something else. I want to really refine. But
Yeah.
some kid saying he has to have 14.50 or 14.25 is weird to me.
Well,
Yeah.
it was just not a conversation that we used to have.
No.
I mean, it's just something that wasn't really discussed that much.
We thought it was a standard wheelbase.
Yeah,
At least
everybody.
I did.
Yeah, like you almost kind of assume that all boards.
Well, I
are
remember finding boards like, oh, this board's a little shorter.
Sure.
It feels a little shorter. It was just shorter wheelbase, technically.
Well, but there was such a focus on width.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that's all you
Always.
really cared about. I mean, but nowadays, I mean, wheelbase is just such a big conversation. Like I feel like you start to get into some particulars where you're not going to please every person.
No.
And I think that skateboarding kind of it buys, it votes with its wallet. Skateboarding votes with its wallet. So if something's working, then people start to buy it. It's how the popsicle shape actually become popular, is because people kept buying more of that than the other ones, and eventually
That was the standard.
that became standard. So like I feel like what's going to happen is that same thing is going to happen with wheelbase, where the industry's going to kind of vote. And I have a feeling that it's going to settle around 14.25. I think that's where it's.
Me too.
Well, I
it's
think
kinda
like
going.
right now, if I could be wrong, but I think it was Thunders came up with a new design of their trucks that make your wheelbase even shorter.
Yeah, but and that's also what's that other?
The heck?
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
way the actual axle. Of
It's
the
where it's
truck.
placed,
The
that on the
geometry
truck,
of the pivot.
where the axle in relation to
Brings it back.
the four bolts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That
It's
relation.
moved back,
So
basically.
it gives, if you have a 14 and a half wheelbase, it gives you that 14.25 that some people are wanting.
At least that's where your pivot point is from
Yeah.
from the ground. But
Weird.
then that also plays with where the tail is positioned in relation to
That's what I
the
said,
end of the tail.
like this, the popping point is
The-
going to be, he's going to pop here, here, here. Where's it going to pop?
But there's a couple of things that come into play. There's the distance, there's the actual distance, linear distance from the end of the truck to
where
the
it
tip of
starts.
the tail.
Yeah.
The tip of the tail, but then there's also the
little
lift
point.
point, the rocker. And so like when you get to that point, all that stuff's going to change how this board skates, right? And everybody has a different
Preference?
yeah. Yeah, and
It's
some
like boxers or briefs type of crap.
totally.
Yeah.
Some board's gonna feel good to somebody else, and it's gonna feel horrible to another person. Perfect example, FA with the shovel nose.
Yeah.
Some people can't stand it, but
some people die. Like that's all they want.
Yeah.
I remember this one shop in LA saying that that they could basically put FA and hockey in their store and not carry anything else. Because
that's all the kids
people
are
carrying it or skating it. Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of how heroin skateboards currently is.
Oh,
Either
dude.
you love them or you hate
You
them.
love them or you hate them. Yeah.
I think
absolutely.
it's also one of those things like, man, they're not that cool, and it's like, yeah, because you ain't got $90 to go buy one of those. But if you had one, you'd think
You'd probably
sick.
be stoked on it. Yeah.
They are.
That's the way I am.
They're
I'm like,
expensive.
screw those boards. But if I had one,
I
it'd be
would
cool.
get one. I mean, I'm testing a 975.
It's like
egg
the
right
only
now.
raffle I entered on Jimmy's was
Yeah.
for one of the
That's
eggs.
for the eggs. Yeah.
I didn't do the other ones.
Did he do the gold egg? Is that what the one he did?
There were several he did, and I tried to enter one of those.
I think I saw the Halloween one.
He did the snot one.
The snot one. I remember
yeah, that's the
that
one I was like, I don't care about that one. I want an egg. If I'm gonna win one, I want the egg.
Yeah.
I think I got 2 eggs at the shop. I got them for like 65 right now.
Yeah. That's
Heroines?
good. That's not bad. That's a good price for the eggs.
Are they
Yeah.
heroines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, I try to keep the shop prices pretty affordable. Like I got a bunch of bakers for like 50, 55.
Oh,
I'm
that's
surprised those
yeah.
ain't gone.
Me too.
Hey, if you're
That's
looking for
another-
Baker,
That's another thing that's super hot, and I don't know why, but that's just me. And it's personal preference. To each his own.
Baker's shape.
Yeah, I'm not.
I
like,
do not like it
I'm
either.
not- I'm
I
not
thought I was
like-
the only one.
I'm not like, ooh, you skate Baker, but it's like
Right.
it's just not my.
Nah, the team and brand is dope, but like
Yeah.
just the shape of their deck. But I've skated Death Wish and like their sister company.
It's
I
like-
like Death Wish. I
Yeah, but the Death Wish shape is like a normal shape.
Yeah.
It's just like a basic.
Yeah.
It's
There's nothing
a
wrong
simple
with
shape.
it.
Yeah. But the Baker shape is like.
I felt like the tail was really long,
Oh, yeah.
separated from the
Yeah.
back truck.
Well, and that's where those little measurements come
Yeah.
into play, dude.
Well,
So-
it's always like that. Like I always feel like certain companies were a little flatter or a little more kicked or.
I remember flip boards were pretty flat.
See, I always,
yeah.
and
Those
I always
flat,
thought
yeah.
creatures were like deep, kicked.
Yeah.
Well, and then now, I mean, it's pretty much been exposed online now in skateboarding masses that it's all comes down to the factory, what
Yeah.
factory they're using at that time.
Mhm.
So,
And what's the factory doing in 2006, 2010?
oh, dude,
You know,
totally,
It
yeah,
changes.
yeah, because I mean, even the preference of concave
Yeah.
has changed.
Oh, completely.
I feel like the more common one right now is like a mellow concave.
Mellow concave, yeah.
Like where it's at.
Mm-hmm. And or extremely deep. People want like a comfortable
know.
concave, or
Or-
if concave is the conversation,
It's all. Give me all of it. That's
Yeah.
what I'm telling people.
Hard
there's
C
definitely.
shape.
I definitely can't do too much concave.
It hurts my feet.
Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love.
Oh,
def-
you feel that pinch.
Yeah.
I
right?
definitely need the concave, but I don't. Yeah, I don't want crap loads of it.
Totally.
I think that's why for me the mellow is.
But I also think it's weird when
Right.
boards have like a flat in the middle. You know what I mean? Like
When they go flat, when they flatten.
from the concave.
or almost flatten to convex before they
Oh.
concave. There's so much.
There's
Yeah, it almost feels like the flat is a little.
it's not that I think it's actually not that it's there. It's that it's so visual.
You can see it.
It's when those. Well, you've seen it. We've all seen it. Is when the concave goes and it stops. You
Yeah.
see the.
Yeah, you see
it
it.
just stops and it goes flat. Yeah, we've all seen it.
You're
And
like-
so it's just when it's very noticeable. But if you got a good mold, that curve should be super constant.
Yeah.
Very chill all the way across. But factories can get lazy. They'll do things like like not replace their molds for a certain time. Molds really
Get worn out.
they can get worn out. You basically think about something that you're pressing with a ton of weight
Right.
over and over and over
Oh,
again.
yeah,
you
there's
think it's not
friction,
going to
there's
flatten?
Yeah.
It's not going to
It's gonna
flatten.
lose its shape in one
af-
way or another.
After 6 years, 7, 8 years, it's gonna change its profile just
Yeah.
a little bit.
Especially, I mean, there's only so much pressure it could do against wood,
Yeah, wood. And then also, I mean, there's other materials that people will make molds out of. Like you can do aluminum molds. 3D printed molds have also started to come out. I cannot imagine they last long.
That material's weird to me. I know there's
PLA.
Yeah, it's just weird, strange stuff.
Yeah, PLA can 3D printing technology has really stepped its game up in the last probably 5 years.
Yeah.
And you can print some stuff that's like actually pretty solid.
Yeah. Usable stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I just saw like there was a car and they had to 3D print brackets for a race seat, and they're putting it under race conditions, but like they're like it hasn't been tested, but like it fits and it feels pretty strong.
Wow.
So,
until you crash and that breaks off.
Yeah.
You're still strapped in, but it breaks.
But dude, there's gonna be a time where they're already doing it, 3D printing metal.
I was wondering about that, or 3D printing like carbon fiber.
They're doing houses nowadays, 3D printed.
Oh yeah, there was like those
they
concrete
are,
ones.
dude.
Those are
That's
dope.
weird.
Yeah.
But I bet that's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's got to be cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And it probably will get cheaper too, since it's still
Over
fairly
time.
new.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you're not paying all that labor cost of the manual people having to put the house up. It's just the machine just having a guy to maneuver it.
Yeah, you're just
We'll
basically paying operator fees at that point. Dude, if you're checking out houses, dude, there is this lady in China that sells these little prefab homes. It's like, it looks like a kind of like a RV mixed with a mobile home, futuristic. Is so hilarious. The comment sections are like lit.
Why?
Because she is speaking English, but it's like really broken English.
Oh.
And there's subtitles that go with it.
Bro,
it is hilarious.
The internet knows no chill. That's for
and
sure.
there's zero chill, dude.
Jeez.
The comments are fire.
It's like you say, you go there racing straight to the comments when you see something a little racy or borderline. You're like, I gotta go see what the comments are saying here.
You can actually buy those kind of homes from Amazon too.
You can.
Yeah,
They
it is
in
very
Walmart
similar.
too. You can unfold like a $25,000 house.
Yeah.
You like unfold it and pull it out, and that's a lot of people. Like that's popular right now too. Is those tiny homes? I wouldn't mind having a tiny home out in the middle of it. I mean,
if I was
smack dab in the middle
single,
of nowhere.
Yeah, but with kids and all that, no.
No.
All
It was
right,
just me.
I found it, y'all, and I won't kill the stream with it, but go search Robert_Etong, Etong. I'll send it to you. All right, we're playing it, dude.
Robert Etong.
是管米卡斯，路水平考试他，
Oh.
因为我来他，他
I'm telling you. So please, Robert Etong. I really hope that I get sponsored by them, so we can get that'd be the next studio.
They send you a house.
We could do the studio. I should hit him up. Dude.
I found it.
Robert Etong. Hello, Bossa.
That's what it says. Hello, boss.
Hello,
Right
boss. But she says hello, bossa, but it says hello, boss.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Bossa.
bro, I love it. I love it.
Choose Etong.
If this is what this show is here for, is to provide value, and I really hope that we did that just there. Well, dude, we actually, I really think between the two streams, we made it 2 hours.
2 hours. That's
Yeah.
right.
We did our duty.
Dude,
You-
diligence.
You did your time in Gnarkansas jail.
Drove all the
and-
way out
yeah.
here to Narsville and
Narsville.
Now I gotta go to the pond or the back of the lake.
Yeah, well, yeah. We can't tell them where you're going, but yeah, it's a disclosed location.
Cut the film now.
All of a sudden, the stream just cuts again, and they're like,
What happened to the gun?
and
I haven't
then
heard.
next thing they
I haven't
know,
heard from Jose in 2 weeks.
I haven't heard Jose
You
in
went
a
on
while.
vacation, man. I don't know.
The bottom of the lake. All right, good to be with everybody.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah, but yeah, dude, really appreciate you coming out. We'll keep following the cool things that local crew does, dude.
Appreciate the time, guys.
Yeah,
Had
man.
a lot of fun.
We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.